I am Rekayax. This is Telraxus, Avolnix, and Einavox. We are, as you can see, dragons. But unlike what you may think, we are dragons of the Moon Clan.
We have decided to come to the Cinderlands to aid you in the struggle against Sunta and her ambition.
He looks at you as you talk. Somewhat unimpressed, really.
We heard your reputation, and we could not think of robbing you of the chance to test your might against the beasts of Sunta, her slaves as it is. Our, racial kin.
We offer you then glorious battle, a chance to wrangle the real big fish out there, so to speak. We are forging a new clan, a stronger moon clan than ever before. We have already begun. The herds are returning to the old territories. The Sun Clan's raiding outpost is broken, and many of the disparate factions have already joined us.
And although you could always attack, with us it will not be a suicide strike. You may fight the beasts and survive to tell the tale.
And
how
what
would
a
we
tale.
And how would we fight something that simply flies away and breathes fire? Sunta's beasts might be impressive, but they are also rather difficult to enjoy fighting.
Flying creatures can be forced to land. It is a matter of strategy.
Wings are torn and ripped. They are not the only ones who fly anymore. They have enjoyed that luxury for too long. We changed that.
So what are you proposing here? That you carry my men, the men who would be insane enough to go one-on-one with Sunta's pets, up there to drop them on top of the backs of the great beasts?
No, rather that we would force Sunta's pets down to the ground.
I don't think you could do that. There's a clear challenge in his voice.
Do you have one of them around?
Of course not.
Then how about we give you a demonstration of our martial prowess?
You, just like the others, would simply fly away. Stay at the range, in safety. There would be no honor in fighting one of your kind.
That's so. Tyraxus gets up a little bit, you know. He seems to shake loose, start to warm up as it sort of claws a bit at the ground. Then why don't you bring one here, and we shall see.
He raises an eyebrow. How are we supposed to bring one of Sunta's beasts here?
He smiles. No, one of your champions, Chief.
Oh. One-on-one in the arena, you suggest?
Yes.
He looks to a rather eager gentleman right next to him, kind of holds him back still. I don't quite see the point of it, but it would surely be enjoyable to watch, at least.
I promise not to fly away. He smiles.
Very well then. The loser stays. He smiles. Waiting for some
So
sort of response.
you become their pet if you fail.
Tyraxus smiles. That seems to be a one-sided bet. If you lose, you stay at home. If I lose my freedom. That is hardly fair.
True, true. Suppose then the loser Well, if you lose, you stay here. Enjoy life with us. Life and fighting, of course.
And if I win,
You may be able to acquire the services of one of my most eager champions, as you put it.
excellent.
The said eager champion suddenly doesn't look as eager anymore.
Better
Well.
not muck this up.
Ah, woof. Tell me about it.
Sure, Volnik shouldn't do it instead of you. Well,
I have one
he
big
probably doesn't want to
advantage.
go in on that deal, actually. I damn well wouldn't. I don't think I'm even allowed to buff you. But,
I don't know. There was nothing said about that.
He does slowly walk towards the gate. Then it is decided then. No flying, no magics. If you decide to break either rule, you will have forfeit your victory.
Oh, sure.
I will take great offense to that.
No flying and no magics. I hasten to point out that my breathing is not considered magic. Yes, it looks at the beast bane, because otherwise I might consider the use of well, someone's fists as part of their magic as well. It is as natural to me to breathe as it is for you to grip something with your hands.
He considers, shrugs. Sure. The eager gentleman here, his chosen champion, will just simply climb over the kind of stand here, the small rock mountain.
Sure. Tyraxus will take flight and land inside the arena and then sort of fold his wings back.
The leader of the beast wranglers here will take apparently his usual seat right in front of one of the currently lit braziers, which must be a terrible heat, but he doesn't seem to mind. Letting his feet dangle into the arena as slowly but surely you attract quite the spectators. It takes a few minutes for anything to happen, really. You staying in one corner, you are clearly being indicated to stay there for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So people collect.
I choose to believe they have a drummer.
Yeah. Yes.
And I will keep stalling until I fix this guy's saves. Because they are wrong.
Plus 10, plus 10, plus 10.
Just increase everything. Advanced template, advanced template, advanced template, and
Evasion.
go invasion.
I mean, you're going up against something you have no idea how strong it is.
Yes, it is certainly.
Except you know that it is not their strongest thing.
It is certainly a gamble here.
Yeah.
But
If you win, you have the service of...
Grimmith had it right. Give him some panache and grit.
He parries your lightning with
brawler
the fist.
swashbuckler, snake style.
He's also a ninja who turns invisible, which
Ow.
is not magic. Then after a while, the voices of the spectators rising up. The leader, who has not yet introduced himself to you, as far as you're aware, will pipe up with his almost supernaturally loud voice, clearly practicing this sort of thing, as he says, "Beast wranglers, visitors, spectators, members of the, well, remains of the Moon Clan. You've seen Sunta's beasts many times, too many times, but you have lived to tell the tale at least. Now one of their kind comes here, requesting our aid in the fight, offering us opportunities. Whether his words be true and truthful, whether he be honorable, whether his cause is just, will be decided here. In the only way you can get to know someone. In the fight. This will not be a fight to the death. The terms have been agreed upon. Once either fighter decides to surrender or has no indication of wanting to fight anymore, the fight will be over. The count of 3, you may commence. Which is essentially initiative.
Alright.
Good luck.
Thank you.
I could have volunteered myself for my DR, but no.
I'm gonna try not to mess it up.
If you
I feel
do,
there's more
Volnex
things
will
we can
fight
do
for your
because
freedom.
flavors.
I have probably ways to get out of this, even if, bad things. But it will take a while, It'll take a few months for me to corrupt this clan and turn it to my whims. That's the long way of doing it.
It
Well,
is
see you in
then
2 years' time.
the chieftain of the Beast Wranglers then counts down. Apparently too quickly for Tyraxus to really react, but his opponent certainly does, as he will charge,
Of course it will.
and then he will try grappling you.
Fight him.
You do not get your attack opportunity because you are still flat-footed. You haven't acted yet.
Can you grapple on a charge?
Yes.
Okay. That I didn't know.
You will grapple. That is just enough, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You are grappled.
Okay.
He is also.
He just jumps at the dragon. Like,
Oh yes, he does. With a battle shout, he charges forward and grapples you.
if he had spikes like me, he wouldn't have- that guy wouldn't like it.
No, I'm not squeezed. I am.
He's not squeezing you.
I'm grappled.
He strangles the dragon to death.
And he's just gonna try to pin you.
He is, yes.
It is then your turn.
Alright, question. Can I move at any, can I drag him with me?
You can try to become the controlling grappler as a standard action.
Okay, and what does that mean?
If you are the controlling grappler, you could drag him, essentially. If you are not, you cannot move.
Okay.
Your options are you can attempt to become the controlling grappler, which is a grapple check, essentially. You may attempt to break free as a standard action, which is also a CMB check.
Or escape artist.
Or you may attempt any action that doesn't require 2 hands.
Like a breath attack.
A breath attack certainly counts.
Alright, we'll do a breath attack. We'll do dex damage.
Okay, let's see. He does not make the save. He
There's
takes the
20.
full damage and 3 points of dex damage.
Yes.
Oops. Dex damage, dex damage.
Which is good. The dex damage helps you on the grapple.
Yes. And that's basically all I can do, right? My no swift actions or move actions or anything like that.
You can take swift or move actions, but you essentially can't do anything with them.
Okay.
You can't move.
Okay.
Let's see. Well, that was scary. He will then decide that he doesn't really like this whole show combat thing a whole lot, and he will try to pin you.
Okay.
Which is quite
Actually,
bad, actually.
first he has to make sure he can continue grappling you. The grappling rules are terrible. He will try to maintain the grapple, which means he gets a +5 on that. He does that handily. Now, as a move action, he'll try pinning you. You're pinned.
Yes, I'm pinned.
As a standard action, he will produce enough rope to make you helpless.
Okay.
You would be essentially bound on the ground. Combat would be over because you are considered helpless.
And he can try breaking free, can't he?
You could try breaking the rope. That is very true. That would, however, require a strength check.
Sure, I'll do a strength check.
A DC for that, let me double check that.
How strong is the rope you tied?
It does seem to be a rather normal rope. Nothing special.
Do I get a bonus because I'm quadruple-legged thing?
No, not on
Okay.
ropes.
13 then.
How much rope has that high of a break DC, does it? I know there are rules for it in the item section.
Just being hogtied.
I can't find the break, you see, but I'm pretty sure 13 is not enough. Adventuring gear. Rope. No. No. It's not trying to tie you with a pavilion. It's a DC 24 strength check.
Wow, 24.
Yes.
That is a lot of strength.
It usually would, because you'd usually take 20 on such a thing. Like,
Can I, as he like ties up my feet and like arms, I guess, can I get a bite attack or something in? Or like, does he tie up essentially all of my 6 attacks simultaneously?
As per the rules, he would essentially do that, but you can get an attack of opportunity with a bite if you want to.
Sure.
From with grapple, if you don't reverse the grapple, there's a chance you just get pinned.
Well, pinned is not lost.
I think it's
It just limits the amount of things you can do.
apparently I can pin and make helpless at the same pin and tie up at the same round.
That
Yeah,
is that was the surprise for me. I didn't know he could do that in the same round.
He pinned you as a move action and tied you up as a standard action. He is pretty damn good at this whole grappling thing. You bite at him, hitting a rather severe wound, but he's still hanging in there.
I also get the bonus damage, if that matters. 6 more lightning.
Not quite.
Well, I tried. Actually,
Yeah.
when he does this, I'm gonna burn some dragon points on this fucker.
Okay.
Because I am not having this.
That's like a good idea.
Yeah, I'm gonna burn dragon points to immediately take an action. As he does this.
Okay.
And
It would burn 4 dragon points
Yes.
as you're using a hero point. Okay.
yes, I'm burning 4 dragon points on this.
Calling up your inner nature.
Yep, not
your
having this
He's tying your
bullshit.
legs and mouth, and
Yeah, he's trying to tie me up. I'm not gonna have that.
like a pig that he's caught.
Yeah, exactly. Can I do another breath? No, probably not. Unless the dragon
Round
point
4.
somehow reactivates my resets my
No,
recharge timer.
no.
Well, let's do another bite then, I suppose. Because I think I
Which
still can.
usage of it is it you do?
You're trying to get double KO here.
Unless I can move, but I don't think I can move.
No, you
No, if you
can't.
don't grapple.
Okay. I might as well try to bite them then.
That is enough. As he is in the process of currently producing a rope and trying to restrain you, you bite him enough times that he not only loses the will to fight, but loses consciousness as well.
Lightning crackling from him. Tyraxus sort of untangles himself from the rope, throws it away, so sweeps it away with a tail, and then spreading his wings, he howls in victory.
The spectators are not exactly cheering. They are a bit stunned at this display. Kind of looking
I'll do
at
it again.
each other. They had hoped, it appears, for a much longer combat, but it was over in essentially 10 seconds
That's his fault. He charged me.
as silence falls over the arena.
Ran at you with a rope.
Like, ah!
Until
And then you basically saw like Tyraxus like keel over as he was somewhat surprised at this guy's speed, and then like
Bend
it's
your tail around and like legs and
yeah, exactly, like a snake, trying to strangle this guy, and then you just see something almost as if Tyraxus is about to lose that struggle, and then just something gleams in his eyes, and he would like roar in fury, and then just rip his throat out.
the arena is essentially stunned silent as the chieftain then speaks with his loud voice. Well, that wasn't very exciting at all. wasn't even very honorable. He just charged you, trying to end the combat as quickly as possible, the coward. No playing, no posturing, no present. That was not arena combat.
I suppose that is what happens when you invite the most eager one.
It appears so.
Tyraxos, displays himself, wings out, chest out, rippling muscles, all that. He's doing a little bit of posturing around the corpse of this guy. And he said, I have fought your champion and shall then claim my prize, as was arranged. A pity it wasn't a more spectacular fight, but he didn't give me much choice, I'm afraid.
He did not. I perfectly agree. Someone should look to him, make sure that he doesn't bleed out, though.
Yeah, Tyraxos will be like, my friend and ally, Rakayax, is an excellent shaman when it comes to the healing arts, if you would permit him.
Hops down, touches the man, hops back, and some of his wounds are closed up.
Sure. He does regain consciousness, but looks like he wish he hadn't, as he looks very embarrassed about everything. Well, I had hoped to make this a event of getting to know each other, but that didn't work.
Perhaps something less serious would cool the blood of the eager and make it easier to, get to know each other in a more constructive way, so to speak. When so much is gambled for, emotions take control, and the attempt at learning becomes an attempt at satisfying greed.
He jumps down from his throne almost up here. Says, No, this simply does not work. We are the beast wranglers, and I do not think that you would consider yourselves the beast now, would you?
Indeed not.
Then we have a problem here. You see, I see your point, but I'm not convinced that you are offering an alternative that would be more enjoyable to us than simply enjoying life. There is one more contest we could do, though. Perhaps that would change my opinion, yes?
His eyes thin dangerously as he looks at this guy.
Clearly fighting each other is pointless and somewhat counterproductive if we are indeed supposed to be allies, as you put it. No, we are the beast wranglers. We need beasts that wrangle.
Yes?
How about this, then? 1 week from now, my clan, my followers here, will catch the biggest beast they can find. And you will do the same. And then, whoever's beast wins has the right of choice.
Tyraxos looks to the others.
Yeah, that could work. That could be interesting.
Mm-hmm. Gotta get the harpoons and see what we can find. Come with a whale.
How are we gonna do that?
The biggest one, I mean, I think they're gonna have to fight each other. So they want to make like a. We'll each get a beast. We'll have a Pokemon battle.
Is that what they're saying?
Yeah.
They want the Pokemon battle?
That's essentially what they're suggesting.
Alright.
Yes.
How are we gonna catch a beast out in this freaking desert?
We just gotta get that Oryx horde that trampled you and just put that down
The
here.
horde.
Yeah, just
We have mind linked them. Yeah, one.
with our sorcery they
I mean,
act
I
as
have a
one.
flower.
That is true. Let's bring the fucking
It
flower.
cannot die.
We bring the flower.
An
That is
undying
great.
flower.
That is great. That is perfect.
I don't know if it's a beast, 'cause it's kind of a plant.
They don't know that.
It's a meat plant.
It's a hideous rotting meat plant. They said the biggest thing we can catch.
Living blood.
That is
I mean,
a
we
big
could
thing.
try
we
to
haven't
look
caught.
for something else, but if nothing else, we could always go and ask it to come over here.
Mhm.
It's not fast.
Now we can take it tied up with rope and we can fly it over here.
It's
Does
probably too
Einavax-
heavy for you to carry.
Airlift
Does
it.
Einavax know of any beasts in this freaking area?
Oh, there are many beasts in the Cinderlands. As much of a badlands and desert as it is, the creatures who live here don't really care about the environment. They have adapted. And the things that have adapted usually end up being rather dangerous.
Should we
But we
catch
need
a-
something that will stay in an arena.
We clip the wings of a
Right.
Viren.
We ask
Good.
him that, like,
Can have a vibrant.
so if we acquire something, it has to be something that can stay within the confines of this arena.
If it flies away, you lose, essentially. However, wings can be restrained.
If it rampages through the side and kills everyone.
Oh, that won't happen. Don't worry about that.
All right. Good.
So I do know, from knowledge from long before, there is something called the Sandpoint Devil.
If we could gather enough money to summon a solar,
Oh yes, Solar comes in. we
then
just
we'll
want you to,
send it against Tunta.
yeah. Get a giant, maybe.
But is that a beast?
Guys,
I think a
wait.
beast is like an
Instead of-
unintelligent, ruthless thing.
Like, half our party is eagles. We were not summon a solar. We could summon like what's the most powerful devil in the game?
How about an elephant? I think there's those guys around, right?
Elephant?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is arena really a paw print?
Yeah, exactly.
We could turn Einavox into something.
Oh, if all else fails.
I mean, it's not very big creature. It's only medium, but
That's
That's
true.
animals.
We
that's
need
beasts.
you guys kept moving-
a super ancient, humongous dire scorpion.
That would be nice. The Emperor Scorpion from, like, those are mean. We've seen what scorpions can do.
We can't have something that burrows though, like a worm or something. Because how the hell are we gonna transport that?
I don't know. Tyraxus will, point at the guy and says, "Make sure that he is taken care of. I want to speak with him after this. He is serving me now, after all."
I suppose he is. He won't be too happy about that, but then again, he should have at least given you a better fight.
Oh, don't worry. He will have much opportunity to fight in my service. Flies over here. As we huddle around and start discussing what to catch.
We need something that is better than anything they can bring.
A scorpion is pretty good.
I learned like a summoning spell. Just keep them coming, but I mean,
Summon
it has to be
Tyrannosaurus?
spectacular and huge. Maybe like a dire rhino. That's pretty cool, but not that powerful.
I mean, we can die a tiger. Those are dangerous.
Get one of those things, like old one eye, or
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Smilodon.
kill it and make it into a dire Smilodon skeleton.
That has worked before, certainly.
Then it can't die. So even if they beat it, it just comes back. These seems for the undead creating kayaks. This seems like a perfect kind of people.
Mm-hmm.
They have big things and they kill them, and I can. And then they could like have undead, and they could keep fighting them, and they would be broken, and then they would return.
Is there Smilodons in the Cinderlands?
It would be a knowledge nature.
Everyone looks to Einavox.
my guess is no, based on what? Based on the kind of creature, but
Is there Smilodon?
I always roll 10 because I can always take 10 on a knowledge nature.
Yeah, I think with a 20 you could feasibly decide whether or not a creature would be available here in the Cinderlands. Smilodons would not be.
Is
Do
there
we
big
have a
cat
list?
creature?
Like, do we have a list of? Does
check all
Einvox
things
has an
up.
index over the fauna of the Cinderlands?
Look. Or maybe,
20,
maybe there's something in the legends about the legendary giant crab man or something like that.
Oh, referring to the history of the Shanti, you would, among other things, not find too many explicit mentions of beasts, but you would know that there are certainly gargoyles in the desert, there's rocks, wyverns.
Dire bears?
In the mountains, perhaps.
Those are mean.
Yeah, dire bears are pretty good.
Not sure I want to try catching one.
We can do it. 4 of us can take a dire bear.
Hydra. Is there a hydra? A one of those fire hydras. What are they called?
Fire hydra.
That's the thing. There's cryotic. That's the ice.
Oh, the pyro hydra.
In the pyro hydra.
Pyrohydra.
That would be.
That would be pretty good. That would be pretty good.
They would look at it and be like, look at their like dire pig, and they'd be like, no.
The hydra's just shrieking, tossing about, shooting fire everywhere.
Flailing. 10 breath attacks. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you would, I guess, that's not really knowledge nature anymore, but you would assume that a hydra, a pyro hydra at least, a fire elemental creature essentially, would probably like this area a lot.
Also, a pyrohydra is a magical beast, meaning it'd be Arcana.
So now I
Yes,
need to
that's what I'm
study it
saying.
so far that I can be said that I'm familiar with pyrohydras, and then I can locate object on a pyrohydra.
There we
Find the
go.
nearest one.
Yes, yes. I
If
love
the-
this.
I think if there's one in like, what's the range of the spell? Like 300
Like
feet? You would
something.
know. You would very much know.
Well, I can cast it and fly around and see if someone comes in with it. Oh.
Is there a hyenodon? Or like a dire hyena?
Hyenas would be unlikely to find. However, there are this area is certainly known for cinder wolves instead.
Cinder wolves, you say?
Wolf doesn't really sound particularly.
How about a porcupine? A dire porcupine? How are you gonna fight that thing?
We fought that thing before.
Oh, we did, yes, that's true.
That's
How
not
about
that
a
great.
flail snail?
Yeah, but flail snail. Flail snail would mess shit up. Yeah. I like the Smilodon, but alas. A giant turtle? Like a really big snapping turtle. Could mess some stuff up.
Gorilla, maybe.
Gorilla is good. But they live in jungles.
Give it a
usually.
great sword, and then
I think honestly, from what I think a dire bear is a good pick. I don't think we can find a pyro hydra, much less capture one. Although that would certainly be very spectacular. That would be my suggestion, at least. Dire bear. It's probably one around.
I really want a pyro hydra though.
I hear you, buddy. Do I hear you?
I mean, is it much harder to find a pyro hydra than a dire bear?
Yes.
I mean, a dire bear is somewhere. That's the same with the hydra. You get like a 12 heads at the most.
12-headed pyrohydra. What's the CR on that, out of curiosity?
I don't know. Something probably like 16, 15.
Yeah,
there.
something that would be an impossible challenge for us, rules-wise at least.
12-headed pyro. Yeah, CR13.
Yeah.
We get the smallest amount of heads there is, like 6, 5, 4,
I think
something like that. I
6.
think 5 is the smallest. I had a token that used to have 5, and I had to write in the description that had. And then we cut them all off once because they regrow like as 2. But after a day, half of them wither and die. So it doesn't actually permanently get more, but it temporarily has more. So
So we sort of juice it up before
Like,
the
dope it up.
combat. Yeah. I mean, a normal pyrohydra, if that can even be procured, which is like a big stretch, I think.
I don't know. It shouldn't be too. I mean, there's a lot of fire things. I love hydras. They're great.
I know. Pyro Hydra, Flail Snail, or Dire Bear.
I don't think. I mean, I think we could take a Hydra.
It's.
I think we could take more than a 5-headed one. Certainly,
I think
5-headed like CF4 or something like that.
I
not
think
that-
also we can take a Hydra, but I think aren't Hydras like super rare?
Maybe. I don't know how. I mean, we are in the Tinderlands.
Yeah.
I have no idea what kind of animals live here. We want something that can beat whatever. I mean, it's not. They're not going to fight them. It's going to find some other beast,
Yes.
and they probably have something in mind.
Yes.
How are we even going to find one? Let's start with that. How are we going to find one? Just
Hydra?
flailing around randomly is going to be tough.
I mean, a
Although
bear.
some
you
of us, I
could-
guess, could go and find like a backup.
I mean, the bear. It probably hides out in caverns and stuff in the mountains, and we can probably track it using, looking for kills and like it's rampage. Like dire bears are pretty mean. It probably likes to rake things in the mountains, like claw marks and I don't know, carcasses and droppings, and I don't know. It should be, if there's one around, we should be able to track it down. It's kind of big.
Yeah, perhaps.
Maybe we could ask around the villagers and stuff, being, have you heard the legends of the Pyro Hydra? See if they like, yes, there's such a beast out in the...
We need a good, strong Pyrohydra.
We can fly to Corvosa and buy one.
So cool to come up with. Just buy one. I don't think we can
Yeah.
buy a 12-headed Pyrohydra.
Well, if it's in Corvosa, we probably can.
Like that seems like a very niche market.
Yeah,
would be
you
that.
know.
It would be the kind of thing that you could get in Catapish and nowhere else.
Mm,
The beast seller.
mm-hmm. Yeah, that fat dwarf.
It's like, I have a Pyrohydra. I'll ship it to the Strawberry Rise. Don't worry.
The tourism will arrive in 10 days, yeah.
It's quite a bit of money, though.
Yeah, we should have money. Quite a bit of money.
Well, I mean, how would we even find some monster? We could go for a Diabear. It's not as spectacular as I mean,
It's not as spectacular as the Pyro Hydra, I agree.
we'd want something that we could barely beat, right? And I don't think a Diabear would be too difficult for us, honestly.
No, four of us can take a Diabear.
Yeah. You could take a Diabear?
Alone? Probably not. Probably not. It has a lot of attacks and it does a lot of damage. And it grabs, so it's actually quite bad.
Well, the grabbing is good. Very
It's quite
good.
badass. It is a CR10 creature. I mean, it's
Is it?
mean. Yeah, it's a mean thing.
All right. Because it's underestimated. I mean, I think their Diabear was more like 6 or 7.
Maybe. Let me take a look.
A Diabear CR7.
Okay, there we go. CR7. Yeah.
There's apparently a giant advanced Diabear, but
Ooh.
I
Maybe
don't
if
think
That one sounds good.
I don't
Forget
think you can
It's the, like,
easily
lore-
find animals with templates.
Like a Lord of Bears. He lives up in the mountains.
The worm that walks, advanced giant Diabear.
Mm-hmm.
We can
Swarm.
hire a druid, hire a
Half dragon.
druid for a day to turn into like a vital striking dinosaur.
Maybe. I mean, we could go down to Moonhide and ask him to commune with the spirits, and maybe they can tell us where we can find an impressive
Spirit
creature.
of the land. I mean, he can't talk to spirits though.
Can't he?
No.
But he can
One
talk
of the
to
very
the
few
shrine.
shamans who can talk to spirits.
What good is he really?
He gets control of the other ones.
Mm,
Made a bonfire
yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Does the water spirit in the cave know anything?
He doesn't talk either.
What is with this place and no one talking?
They're very stoic.
I guess. I mean, looking at the animal list here.
I don't know. It's really Inabox who should be answering all these questions.
I rolled for you.
What's the biggest, baddest beast you have heard about?
What would that be?
Probably a combination of knowledge nature and knowledge arcana.
Knowledge local, maybe?
Knowledge local doesn't really only really works for the people, not for the
Pick
animals.
rumors?
keep-
Oh.
Do you want me to
I
not
have-
take 10 on my roll and see what happens?
Rather safe than sorry.
So
With a 20, let's see what would
if
be.
I take 10, then it's a 20.
Well, you know Aurochs to be pretty mean.
It's not funny, sheep.
I'm sorry. One of the meanest things that you could easily find in the area would probably be a rock.
That's a bird.
As
though.
in the big
Rock.
birds.
Okay, but it's not really that cool if it doesn't fly.
We could put a huge net over the arena to prevent it to fly away, I guess.
Wouldn't just lift that up.
I don't know. Depends on how we tie it down.
Yeah. What's the next most hardcore thing?
Well,
These guys aren't gonna show up with a rock.
among the just normal animals that do not have a magical kind of background to them, there are large scorpions, but they are not really that impressive. There's basilisks, there's cinder wolves that can grow pretty large.
Basilisks are good.
Dangerous, though.
They turn people to stone,
Yeah, I don't like
which
that.
is hard for spectator sport.
Yeah.
But
It walks in like half the the audience is just turned to stone. Like, oh, well,
so what about magical beasts that might live in these mountains
In these mountains,
or
you
on
have
these Cinderlands?
you have read in the histories that gargoyles are a thing that live in the Cinderlands in not exactly
Are they
villages,
beasts,
but
though?
they wouldn't count as beasts, but they are certainly an impressive sight and pretty good at fighting. You have met wyverns who might even be able you might even be able to convince to fight for you if given the right, incentives. There's also
Yeah.
dragons, which are half lion, half dragon beasts.
Oh, I like the sound of that. Anything that has a other thing about the lion. is usually-
There are accounts of chimeras traveling through the Cinderlands.
chimeras. That'll be cool.
Yeah.
But the more exotic you go, the harder it will be to find.
So, chimera or pyrohydra? It's kind of the same. What about a gorgomera?
They could potentially be found here as well.
With its stone breath.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the chimera sounds like a pretty mean thing to kind of show up with.
Yeah. I guess it does.
I mean, the pyrohydra was not on the list there, you know.
I mean, but we already know they could be here.
Hydras could be here.
Yeah, I'm
But
kind
as
of
I
into the
said-
pyrohydra.
But
I mean,
yes,
The more
I
exotic you go, the
everything-
more
everything-
difficult it will be to find.
everything else will now have to stand up to the disappointment of not being that.
the poor
be careful.
chimera will never will
Just want
always
like a-
live.
It's like 7 heads or something, you know.
I mean,
Like
any hydra is a good.
7 flame breaths. Yeah, kind of want that. Hydras have all the best things from cats and lizards.
I mean, we can spend a few days looking for a hydra if you really, really want.
Maybe Sunday could send a dragon, or we could turn into a skeletal dragon. Or we could feed a donkey 10,000 tons of dynamite.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exploded.
Uh-huh.
Play with it.
Yeah, well, like we sent in a donkey and we had poisoned it. So it's like it's riddled with these hideous diseases.
He'd be
and
like,
then
that is not a very good fight.
and then
I'll-
you eat it and it just keels over.
But how, like, no matter what we pick, how are we going to find one? Just fly around randomly?
We need to track it, fly around and track it. That's the only way we can do it.
Well, the best way to do things then would be fly around now and see what we see, the tracks of, and then decide.
We do concentric circles around the area, sort of move our way out more and more.
Well, I mean, probably go further away, because I imagine most beasts around here have been wrangled.
I guess. Unless the Pyrohydra has just moved in.
That's true.
So where would a Pyrohydra hang out?
Like in a warm place.
We can... Like, is it this?
The sands?
This area here, maybe? Like it's a bit of mountains. We can maybe get a rock. There's a bit of...
I thought it'd be like here, like in
the middle of everything.
Middle of the heat. Yeah.
Well, doesn't the Hydra live in a cave though?
It could. There could be caves in there. I think it's like pretty rocky. Could be cinder caves. I mean, if wolves lived there, why not Hydra? Right, Sheep? That's correctly interpreted. That the Cinderlands is not just flat, empty desert everywhere.
The center of the Cinderlands is mostly desert-like and somewhat flat. The outskirts, the closer you get to the mountains, it becomes very rocky with crevices, caves.
That's where we'd go to find one. Now, how do we narrow our search down a bit? I know, what do you know about hydras? What do they like to eat? What do they smell like?
I don't think Inox has ever smelled a Hydra.
Hydras would also be very much magical beasts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he wants to use her scent.
Or her knowledge of arcane stuff.
She doesn't have knowledge of arcane.
Oh, okay.
It's history, nature, and local.
Hmm.
Also, what is the hell is that cat doing?
Playing with a piece of paper. I don't have the utility spells like Cleric would have. We only have a week.
I'm getting very tired.
Yeah, we could give up on the Hydra idea and just see what we can find out there.
It could be something to keep in mind until next Friday to make plans for what you want to hunt, how you want to hunt it.
Sounds like a good idea.
Gives you something to think about.
It's always better to have something to think about than to start in the middle of or right before a battle or something. I'd say at least.
Well, Draxus is gonna start teaching some manners to that eager wrangler he's got now.
Taste the word Pyrohydra. Like,
Pyrohydra.
tastes good. Right? Pyro.
I mean, I assume a Pyrohydra would eat anything. Like
People?
Yeah, it doesn't eat like whatever it comes across.
Animals and stuff.
It doesn't have any natural predators really. It's just.
Don't know. If it does, we want that thing.
But that's gonna be
the natural predator of Pyrohydras.
Yeah, that's gonna be some like frost giant or something.
Well, he wouldn't go here?
No, I know. But the Pyrohydra is like safe here.
Ask your beast wrangle friend where the Pyrohydra lives.
And start torturing him until he reveals it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we can probably hold here for today. And talk about it during the week.
What does a Hydra like?
Problem is that we don't know what a Hydra likes.
Does it like treasure?
Is it smart enough to like treasure?
I don't know.
I don't think they're very smart. Rakaix really doesn't know that much about Hydras. He has a 13 he knows about Hydras. If if he were to level up, then he would know more about hydras. He'd remember more songs and tales, but
Mm-hmm.
I know he's been distracted by all that's going on. Like hydra.
I
Sounds really
do
good.
believe that you indeed level up after the session.
That was the hope, yeah. 'Cause level 7 is a decent level.
Okay, I think I think hydras eat humans a lot.
Yeah, but there are not a lot of humans. Probably it was like cinder wolves and other predators and
Yeah.
orcs even. Is it a running predator or an ambush predator?
Well,
Honestly, I don't know what pyrohydras are like.
well, let's take a
Well,
look.
just normal hydra with the pyro. And pyro means it lives in warm places and breathes fire, I think.
Let's
And
see
it sounds
here.
way cool.
Thanks to their size and juicy tenderness of their fat and flesh, humans and other bipedal creatures, especially stocky ones such as dwarves, are highly sought after meals for hydras.
Oh, hydras reproduce by asexual budding.
Yeah. They
That
can
is good to know. No.
they can
Where do you
survive
find this information?
they can survive on vermin, vegetation and plant creatures. They prefer red meat, and in times of desperation they will resort to cannibalism.
So the guess is we need to find an oasis. Because this is the kind of creature who would have a lair, right? And he wouldn't have a shitty lair. He would have a lair where things come over to. So what we need is an oasis that is conspicuously empty
Absent, yeah.
of like other inhabitants.
Yeah, it's like no one goes to that oasis.
Yeah, well,
they
or
never
people
come back.
do, and then they get eaten.
No, but that's the rumor. Like, no, anyone who goes there like disappears. Like, we don't go there anymore. It's the danger races.
Hmm. Yeah, that's something we. Yeah, if we look for that, like no matter what lives there, it's probably pretty bad.
They are solitary creatures.
That's good. Don't want to fight more than one of them. So let's. I say we fly over and look for oases. That's pretty easy to spot, you know. And then we could even take like those stones, the talking stones, that Moonhigh keeps talking about, and then we could split up a little bit, sort of fly with a distance between us to cover more ground, yet quickly be able to reinforce each other if needed. And so we could look for an oasis. Look for oases and see what lives there, and then decide if that's what we want. They will need to find something that's close by, and they will, and they will need to find something that they can wrangle, and wrestle up. That can't just break the ropes. So we can scour a much bigger area than they can. Just scour. Yeah. I do remember that in Pathfinder, Hydras have pounce, which makes them much better than in 3.5. Which probably means that they are. I don't think they're very fast though. 30 move speed. I have no idea.
Something like that, yes.
I'm trying to infer things about a Hydra without looking at the Hydra stuff.
They do have pounds.
Yes, I know that much because you had one.
Speed 20, so yeah, it's kind of ponderous.
So ambush. It's the kind of thing that sits there and then you walk past and
Yep, just leaps out.
It's not the thing that runs you up, which means that it would have to have a lair in a place where people go, which seems like an oasis, right?
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Probably like one of those really like water pools around, or like boiling, like mud pools with like volcanic energy or something you can sleep in, and then things come there too, and they're thirsty to drink.
Yeah, it's
And
not
then,
gonna
like,
it's
it's
not
a couple
gonna
of orcs.
it's not gonna run up to anything with that speed.
No, it's gonna sit in like a hole, and then like,
Yeah.
the orcs are gonna come there and stand there and then drink, and there is instantly just stakes like 5 hits out and 10 hits or whatever, and it swallows a couple. Yeah.
That seems very likely to me. Alright, the mysterious ghost oasis is gonna be found. and with much hydra in it.
Like a lot of hydra. Well. And we level up, you say?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good.
Hooray!
Leadership, here we go.
Yes, indeed.
And I think we should go get some food.
Yeah.
Are you insane? I'm about to fall asleep.
Are you asleep now?
I am so tired.
You want to eat anything?
I'm not hungry now.